to my channel. Thank you guys for coming to watch me and listen to me yap. Okay, I think that I'm gonna talk about basically how I stopped being friends with Hannah. Okay, so you guys know that, a little recap, Hannah is the person that I did that thing with and felt like I I felt like she was for real. You know what? I don't know what you can say in the beginning of the videos. So Hannah's that person that I made a story time about Hannah. If you want like a background on her, I do have a story time about her already. So the story is like the first time doing tree or something like that. I think I titled it. Yeah. So basically, Hannah was my coworker, and I knew like what city she was originally from. It wasn't like a big city. It was like kind of like a town, and she knew like where I was from too. So, but we didn't know each other. Like we didn't know anybody besides me. She didn't know from my city, and anybody besides her I didn't know from her, like city or like town. I don't really want to call it a city. I'll just call it a city. It has a different name, so I'll just call it a city. Technically, it's a city, so I'll just call it a city. But I just wanted you guys to get like a visual of it, but it's fine. So, yeah, I didn't know anybody from her city, but she did know one person. I lied, you guys. She knew one person from my city, and that was her best friend. And her best friend, what did I name her best friend? I named her best friend Maggie. So, since I didn't know Maggie, but since I worked with Hannah every day, she would talk to me about like her personal life, her other friends and stuff. And she would talk to me about Maggie sometimes. Not even just sometimes, all the time. She would talk about Maggie and how they were supposed to be best friends, but they always had like situations going on. And also, Hannah was dating Maggie's brother, which is a significant part in this story. So Hannah was dating Maggie's brother. I'm not gonna give him a name. I'm gonna just call him brother. So yeah. So Hannah would talk to me about Maggie all the time. She started talking about other friends too. She started talking about how her other friends, they seem like racist, like they were racist, like they won't flat out call you like the N word, but they will do things and say they will do anything but call you that. So like she was basically saying that's how they are. And so I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Like, are you gonna remain friends with them? Like, because if you're trying to be my friend and I'm already feeling kind of weird about you, not gonna lie. But uh, are you gonna remain friends with them? And y'all, that should have told me something, but like, I don't know. Whatever. You live and you learn. So I remained friends with her. But yeah, she would tell me like, oh, I feel like this group of friends, they're racist and stuff like that. And also, Maggie is friends with this other group of friends. I didn't think that I was ever going to meet these friends, like including Maggie. But especially because she was talking about how she doesn't want to be friends with these people anymore. And I'm just like, okay, well, if you don't want to be friends with these people anymore, don't be friends with these people anymore. She's like, oh, I feel like I should just focus on being your friend and being, there's this other girl that worked at our job. And basically, this girl was uh, boy one or guy one. This person was his best friend, but like I was kind of cool with her, and Hannah was getting cool with her, and we all worked at the same place. So she was like, oh, I feel like I want to be just focused on being your friend and then friends with the other girl, guy one's best friend. And I'm just like, I mean, you don't have to focus on only being our friends. Like, don't put it on us. But if you just feel like you don't want to be these people's friend anymore, you don't have to be these people's friend anymore. Like, you don't have to wait until you get other friends or anything like that. Like, I know it can be lonely because I've kept friends around that I knew I wasn't supposed to be friends with. But at the end of the day gotta end. It's like, no. At the end of the day, if someone's not for you anymore, just leave them alone. But in this situation, I can see where it would be hard because she dates the brother. Hannah dates Maggie's brother. So, like, I don't know how you not go and talk to her if you go to family events or whatever the case is. But I wasn't really that invested. But obviously, I would listen because, like, I was her friend and all this stuff. And I just never thought I was going to meet this girl. Fast forward one day, Hannah's like, oh, Maggie wants to meet you. And I'm like, me? And she was like, yeah, I be talking about you sometimes to her and this and that. Like, and she wants to meet you. Like, she wants to know who my friends are, like, who's my other friend, like, who's my other, like, best friend or close friend or whatever she called me. And I'm just like, I mean, okay, but I thought you was not going to talk to this girl no more. I mean, you done said all these bad things about her, so now I'll meet her, I guess, but, and I'm not going to say anything, but like, you done already put a bad taste in my mouth about this girl. But I'm never going to be the type to go around someone and act funny just because I know something. I'm never going to be the type of person to do that. So if someone tells me something, I'm going to just, it can be in the back of my mind, but I'm not going to act differently towards that person, especially if you're bringing me to meet the person. Like, obviously, you still want the person in your life, so I'm not going to not, like, I'm not going to act funny. So, uh, fast forward, and basically, side note, Hannah's mom can't stand Maggie. She like hates her guts. And she fast forward, and Hannah's like, oh, I want to have a party and you can meet Maggie. And I'm just like, okay, I guess so. Like, who's all going to be there? Mind you, where she lives and stuff, it just don't seem that friendly to black people, if I'm being honest. So I'm just like, okay, well, who's all going to be there? And like, you know, like, I mean, I know I'm not going to know the people, but like, you can give me an idea. And she wanted me to come. She wanted um, the girl, guy one's best friend. She wanted her to come, and like probably like my brother, and we brought another friend, a guy friend or whatever. And so we all went to her party. I'm looking at a Nike bag, my backpack, so I'm gonna just name her Nike. So it was me. Oh, so I basically told Nike, like, hey, you know, Hannah's having this party. I know, like, she wants us to go, but she she kind of beat it around the bush around who was going to be there. She said that Maggie was going to be there, but I don't know who else is going to be there. But she has a group of racist friends, and like, she didn't cut them off from my understanding. So don't be surprised if they're there. And honestly, we probably shouldn't even be going, but like, just from the way Hannah is, like, just from the way she was acting, I could kind of tell that she was gonna invite like the racist friends or whatever. And basically, Nike said something to her, and Nike is more like aggressive than I am. Like, just a little description of her. She is basically, she likes girls, and she also like dresses like a boy. Like, she's more like aggressive. She's more like, she acts more like masculine. And on top of that, she's in a relationship with a girl. So like, she's like the masculine girlfriend or whatever. So she acts like that all the way around. Like, she's like a masculine person. And so she goes to Hannah, and she's like, which I didn't care that she went to Hannah, to be honest, but she went to Hannah and she's like, oh, Tierra said that, you was inviting these people and they're not really that fond of black people. And she was like, well, they're not going to say it. Well, she told this to me and Nike. Like, right after that, I like came up or whatever. I like walked up, we was at work. And she was like, well, they're not going to say anything. Like, they're racist, but they're not the type of racist that like is just gonna call you the N-word or something. But they also know what they're doing. And I'm just like, but why would you even be cool with these people or invite these people, whatever, if you're trying to have a black friend? If you have a black friend that's one of your best friends, why would you even do that? Like, and Nike, she was even more aggressive about it. Like, which I don't blame her. I don't blame her. Like, that's probably one of the reasons deep down why I told her, if we being honest, like, because I needed somebody to talk to Hannah and get this through Hannah's head that this is not okay. And if it's not working with me, if I'm trying to talk to her and she's not listening to me, then maybe our other friend can talk to her. So she just Nike's like, well, I'm probably not gonna go, whatever. And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna go if Nike's not gonna go. Like, and she basically begs us, please come, blah blah blah. I'll make sure they don't say anything. I really want you to meet Maggie. And I'm like, okay, I guess. But if anything, if I even feel like anything, I'm leaving. Like, so I'm just like, yeah, if I feel anything, weird or off, or anybody even looks at me funny, like, you better check them for one. And I'm not sticking around for this. Like, this already, in my opinion, is not the best idea. She starts having the party. We go to Hannah's house, and they're smoking and drinking and all this other stuff. And I meet Maggie, and Maggie is really nice. And they start smoking and everything. Out of nowhere, Hannah's mom comes downstairs and starts screaming her head off at Maggie. And mind you, Hannah's mom does not like Maggie. I don't even know. I mean, but they're best friends, but she hates Maggie. Like, and she's just saying all this stuff about her. Like, Maggie's just laughing in her face. Like, on top of that, these people are high and drunk. Maggie's just laughing in the mom's face. I'm over here feeling bad for the mom because Hannah already talks to her mom, her own mom, crazy. And I know Maggie don't care just from her laughing in the mom's face and stuff like that. And Hannah's mom starts crying and Maggie starts laughing even harder. And I just felt bad, to be honest. Like, so it was a hot mess. And basically, yeah, that's how I met Maggie. Fast forward, me, Maggie, and Hannah, we start to hang out a couple times. And I start to notice that Hannah starts acting different when Maggie is around, which I know that a lot of people do that, but it's not, that doesn't mean it's right to do. Like, to notice Hannah acted different when it came to like me, her, and Maggie hanging out versus me and Hannah hanging out. And I wasn't the only person to notice this. Like, at the time I had a boyfriend, and Hannah came over my house a lot. So she ended up meeting him, and like the times that like we hung out, like me, Hannah, and like if my boyfriend was there, like she he noticed a difference than if Maggie came to hang out. Also, they like to come to my house a lot because my apartment complex, I had a pool, which I didn't mind. So like I was always like hosting. Yeah, my house was like the kick it spot for real. So I noticed like different things about like Hannah when Maggie would come around, because we started to hang out a lot, and we started to hang out in like groups, but it wasn't like groups of their friends. It was groups of like a couple coworkers and like my friends or whatever, and everything was like cool. So I started to, okay, so mind you, I got introduced to Maggie. So basically, I started a new job. I left the job I was at and I started a new job, which my boyfriend went there. So he really wanted me to come there. So I ended up coming there, which, you know, it was a good paying job. It paid like twice as much as I was getting paid at my other job, if not more. I mean, eventually I did get more than twice of what I would be making at my other job. So, um, yeah. So, along with that, Maggie also worked at that job, and I would obviously talk to her there because she, you know, like why wouldn't I talk to her? The only thing is that like we worked on, like there was two rooms that you could work in, and she worked in one room and I worked in another room. So she would always just like come over to the other room that I was in and just talk to me or whatever. But yeah, she would always like come in and just like start talking to me or whatever. And we began to get closer, and we started to hang out like separately besides like her and Hannah. Me and Maggie started to hang out besides like without Hannah, which sometimes we kind of did that before I start working at that job. We hung out from time to time. Like she would just be like, "Hey, you want to come over?" or whatever the case is, and I would go over her house and we would chill. And like her and Hannah was always like off and on. Like they started to just always be off and on. And I wasn't going to, since I already met the girl, I wasn't just gonna like not talk to her because her and Hannah was going through things. Also, I had already seen how I began to see what kind of person Hannah was towards me already. So like I don't know, I wasn't gonna act funny with the girl. And then we started to work together on top of that. So like, and then it's not like she was gonna cut, it's not like Hannah was going to cut Maggie off all the way anyways. I mean, she had been talking about the girl for like a while, like, and then she was still her friend at the end of the day, which if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But if that's what you want to do, I'm not going to First of all, I was grown. I mean, I'm grown now. First of all, I was grown, so I'm not going to sit here and not talk to the girl at all after we just been hanging out and whatever the case is. Like, I mean, maybe I could fall back a little bit if that's what you want me to do, but like, you're already wishy-washy yourself. You don't, one day you want to be the girl's friend, the next day you don't. I don't know, you dating a girl's brother, that's gonna be your sister-in-law if you get married to this dude. So, and her and her brother was like real serious. But yeah, that's basically how their friendship was. Me, I had hung out with Maggie a few times by myself, but not with not more than I've hung out with Hannah. So me and Maggie, like, one of the first times we hung out, basically, she she had a boyfriend, a black boyfriend, and she wanted to, basically, she wanted me to be hooked up with his roommate. And so, like, we went over there for a double date. At this time, like, I was done with the boyfriend or whatever. So we went for a double date to his house. I mean, I guess it's not really a double date, like a movie, like just chilling and watching movies. And I was just going to see how I liked the guy. Yeah, that. But, but like, yeah, I went over there and like, it was, might do a story. But anyways, I went over to like her boyfriend's house with her, and a couple other times we hung out, like, and I just felt like Maggie was the normal one and Hannah was the one who had issues. And I was just like, wow, she didn't say all this stuff about you. Now I'm getting to know you myself. Not only are you coming over here and talking to me every day, but I'm getting to know you myself. And she, like, the things that she's saying is not adding up. But obviously, y'all, I didn't tell Hannah, I didn't tell Maggie that Hannah said all that stuff about her, because I'm not about to be messy, and I don't know, I'm just not about to be messy. Like, I just wasn't, that's just not the type of person I am. Like, y'all was friends before I even came in the picture, and I'm just like not about to be in the middle of anything, to be honest. So the only thing that I did tell Maggie about is that Hannah said that group of friends that was over her house was racist. And that's the only reason. And the only reason I even said that is because one of the guys started working on my shift, and I seen that Maggie was going up and kept, like, was talking to him. And I talked to him a couple times, but like not in front of Maggie. So I was like, oh, that guy is cute. Like, who's that? Like, that guy's cute. And she was like, oh, that's so and so. He dates so and so. And I'm just like, oh, that's who? I'm like, that's the one that was at Hannah's house? And I'm just like, oh no, I'm just like, see, I thought he was cool, but nope, not knowing what I know. And she was like, wait, what do you know? Like, what happened? And I'm just like, girl, he don't like black people, and the girlfriend don't either. And she done told me some stuff. Like, Hannah done told me about them. And she was like, huh? He doesn't have a problem with black people, this and that. Like, she was like, huh? He doesn't have a problem with black people and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, so why would she say that? Like, this was before I even met these people. Why would she say that this certain group of friends has a problem with black people or doesn't like black people if that's not the case? And she didn't know that I was going to meet these people. I don't know, maybe subconsciously she did, but she didn't know I was going to meet these people. So why would she say that this person is racist when he's not? And she was like, well, does he seem okay to you? I mean, you've been talking to him. And I'm like, yeah, but I just started talking to him. He just got over here. Spoiler alert, he turned out to be a horrible person. So, yeah. He turned out to be a horrible person. Like, he seemed nice at first, but then I worked with him for like a while, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this guy is got issues. But yeah. So, I was like, this guy, he got issues. So, me and Maggie, we were getting like really close, like super close. You know, I still wasn't telling Maggie anything that Hannah had told me. Like, the fact that I been knew who Maggie was, and Hannah has been talking about this girl since day one, basically. Like, but I wasn't going to be messy like that. But also, since me and Maggie now work together, and she was coming over, like I said, to talk to me every day. She would talk about like a lot of personal stuff. I'm not gonna like put her business out there or anything, but one thing just to get an idea of like, just to get an idea, like I said, her boyfriend was black, and basically her whole family was racist, except for, supposedly, except for the brother that Hannah was dating. So basically, they would be calling him the N word and all this crazy stuff if he went to go like see her or whatever. And the boyfriend, he was like one of them ones. Like, he was a YN. Like, so I don't even know how he kept his composure around the foolery. Like, I don't know. But basically, probably because he did love the girlfriend. But like, before they even like, got on good terms or whatever, like he wasn't really like, he was being an F boy, supposedly, to her. And she would like, talk to me about that stuff. And then they got together, like they was a cute couple or whatever. And he, like, I didn't really know him, but I feel like deep down, like, we just knew. Like, deep down, I don't know. Even though I didn't know him, like, I just feel like certain races stick together at the end of the day. Or so basically, I just feel like even though I didn't know him and he knew me, I mean, even though I didn't know him and he didn't know me, it's just, I could just tell that he had my back, like, if that makes sense. Like, I just had this feeling like, this person got you. Like, I don't know, y'all. It's a weird, I don't want to explain it. Like, I don't know. But basically, he worked at the job too, like the new job that Maggie worked at. So it's me, Maggie, and Maggie's boyfriend that worked there, and also my boyfriend that I broke up with, and he was still working there though. So it was us there. And then eventually my brother came to work there as well. So, like I said, me and Maggie, we were getting close. Like, she started telling me like super, super things that you just wouldn't tell anybody except for like your very best friend. and we wasn't like best friends. So, I felt like, she she seen me as like a really close friend and somebody that she could confide in, not even just with the stuff with her boyfriend, but like other things. So like I was cool with her. And so like, we would hang out more and more, whatever the case is. And I just wouldn't go anymore. Like she wouldn't hang out. I don't know, she had some stuff going on, like whatever I think she was basically going through some stuff. So fast forward, and me and Maggie, we really didn't talk about Hannah like that. Like, also, I didn't really want to bring her up or talk about her because I didn't want Maggie to say anything negative about her, and then I have to tell her that I don't want to listen to you talk about her because this is my friend and this is also your friend. I didn't even want to be put in that position, but surprisingly, Maggie never put me in that position for real. Or, like, I mean, until later on, but she never put me in that position. But Hannah, she was always talking about Maggie, but she was talking about her from the beginning. And, like, if she said anything little, like, whatever, I wasn't going to go back to Maggie and say anything. I just wasn't. Like, I mean, to me, these people were like friends, but I don't know. They wasn't like my best friends. To me, they weren't like my best friends. Even though I know that they felt close to me and they have told me a lot of personal things, like to me, I feel like they just wasn't my best friends. I told them personal things too, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just like the type of person. I mean, I was just their friend. So, so fast forward, and Hannah's birthday is approaching, and I guess Hannah and Maggie is not really talking that much. Mind you, Maggie doesn't talk to me about Hannah. Maggie talks to me about everything else. We never really talk about Hannah. Like, or I'll tell her, like, I'll talk to Maggie about, like, guys or life, anything. But it don't never really be about Hannah for real. So, basically, Hannah was having her birthday in like the city that I lived in, and she like wanted to go out and stuff. And Hannah is not really the type of person that like wants to go out for real. Like we have went out before, but like I don't know, I just feel like we didn't go out that many times. Like I can count on one hand how many times like we went out. So she wanted to go out for her birthday, and I'm like, yeah, like of course I'll go, like, to your birthday, especially it's in my city. Basically, I had moved to a big city, and I was still like working at that job though, and Hannah wanted to have her birthday in the city I was living in. I'm like, yeah, like that's what's up. Like who's gonna come? And she said all these people I didn't know, which the only person I really knew anyway was Maggie. So Maggie, and then like the other group of people that was y'all know that, yeah, but they wasn't coming. And so she was like, oh, basically some people at her new job, because Hannah had got a new job too, so she invited a couple of her coworkers. So I'm just like, oh, okay, like yeah, that'll be fine, that'll be fun. Mind you, me and Maggie don't talk about Hannah, so I didn't bring this up to Maggie. Also, oh wait, no, I asked Hannah, is she gonna invite Maggie? And she said that no, she feels like Maggie's not gonna wanna go, and she doesn't really like going out or something. That's not really her thing or something, she said. And which I don't I think we went out with Maggie like one time, but whenever me and Maggie hung out, it was like at the house, at her house, or at my house, or like something like that. So Hannah said she wasn't going to invite Maggie. So I was like, okay, well, I knew not to tell her anything because she already said she wasn't going to invite her. Hannah and Maggie are supposed to be best friends. So if she already said she wasn't going to invite her, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to go to Maggie and be like, "Oh, did you hear what I almost said her name, y'all." I'm not going to go to Maggie and be like, "Did you hear what Hannah's doing for her birthday?" Like, why would I do that? Like, so basically, not only was Hannah saying that Maggie's not going to want to go, but she was also talking about Maggie, y'all. And these were Snapchat messages. And I just was like, oh, okay, well, I really don't want to be in the middle of it. Like, so basically, stop talking to me about Maggie. Like, that I'm cool with this girl now and I work with her. So, like, I don't want to, like, seem like I'm switching up or anything, but, like, I don't know. Like, she just start saying a bunch of stuff about her. And she also start talking about brother, which is Hannah's boyfriend, Maggie's brother. She also start talking about brother. And I'm just like, I didn't really say much and I knew better to say anything. First of all, I didn't really have much to say. And I also knew better to say anything at all, like anything bad, because I don't know. Maybe it's discernment, but I just knew not to say anything. But also, I didn't have anything to say. I didn't have anything negative to say about Maggie, regardless of what Hannah says. So Maggie comes up to me 2 days after Hannah snaps me about like her party and all this stuff for her birthday, like going out and everything she wants to do and everything she was saying. So Hannah says that stuff. 2 days later, Maggie comes up to me and she starts talking to me. And Maggie is crying. And I'm not going to lie, you guys, I'm not going to lie. This girl has cried multiple times at work. So I didn't think, obviously, I was concerned. I mean, like, not everybody cries at work, but we have all had those days where we've been like upset. So at work. So like I just thought like maybe she had like a fight with her boyfriend or something like she would usually talk about. Y'all, she was like, "Yeah, are you going to Hannah's birthday? Did she invite you?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm going." Like, yeah, she invited me. And she was basically very upset that she didn't get invited. She was like, "I don't know why she wouldn't invite me, this and that, blah, blah, blah." And I told her, like, "Wow, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why she wouldn't invite you. I don't know. But I know I'm not trying to be in the middle of this. So, I mean, I know you're upset and I'm definitely like here for you. I mean, that's sad that your best friend is acting shady, but like, I don't know, y'all. It was very a tough spot. It was a tough spot to be in. But I knew I wasn't saying anything that Anna said to me, whether in Snapchat messages or like in person or anything. I knew I wasn't going to repeat anything that Hannah said about Maggie. I don't like drama. I didn't want to be in the middle of no drama. So Hannah messages me and she's like, "Hey, did you tell Maggie about no, she didn't even ask me did I tell her. She was like, I don't know how Maggie found out about my birthday and this and that, but she's more than welcome to come and all this stuff. And I'm just like, girl, that's not what you was saying a minute ago. Before, you was talking about basically you didn't want her there. Like, you was saying how she wouldn't want to go and you didn't want her there on top of that. Like, you was saying how she been acting funny, your boyfriend been acting funny, and everybody been acting funny. So, like, but I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, well, if you want her to come, she can come. Like, I don't know. And she was like, yeah, I just think it's so weird how she found out about it though, because I didn't tell her, and the other people I invited, they don't even know her. And I'm just like, so are you trying to ask me something? Do you have something you want to say? Like, do you have something you want to ask me? Like, and she was like, oh, I just think it's weird that she knows about it when I didn't tell her and nobody else knows her. And I said, Hannah, I already told you I don't want to be in the middle of anything. And I didn't tell Maggie anything about your birthday. If you wasn't going to tell her about your own birthday, I wasn't going to sit there and tell her about your birthday. Do you think I'm an idiot? Why would I go tell her about your birthday and y'all as best friends and you didn't tell her yourself? Clearly, you don't want her to know about it. Even if you don't say, oh, I didn't. And she didn't say, don't tell her. But I know, I just know not to tell her. Like, so I was like, I don't know. But I know I didn't tell her. And so she was like feeling some type of way. And I'm just like, girl, if I didn't tell her and you date her brother, obviously the brother told her. That's her brother. Like, that's her brother. You thought her own brother wasn't going to tell her about your thing or whatever, and you invited him to go? Like, and they're like close. Like, they're not siblings that don't talk. Like, they're close. So then I end up going to her birthday. Like, I end up going, and she was like acting like not herself, like from what I known her, like basically she basically said that she's coming out, like she likes girls and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna put all her business out there, but just know she kissed one of her friends that night, like on the lips or whatever. And Maggie didn't go, but like when I went to work the next day or whatever, not the next day, but like 2 days later, Maggie was like, oh, how was it? This and that. And I'm like, oh, it was good. Like, Hannah, she's happy now or whatever. Like, she was going through things, I guess, but now she's happy. She came out, whatever. Like, it was a cool time. And y'all, maybe I could have kept this to myself, but I don't even know how it got brought up, but I was like, oh yeah, her coworker, she was acting real like she was all over her basically. Like the coworker was all over Hannah. Like she like didn't want her to leave her alone and stuff, and like they was kissing and stuff. Like they kissed. And she was like, "What?" And I'm just like, "Oh yeah, like." And I'm just like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Like, because, like, and while we were out, Hannah called her boyfriend and was like crying and stuff. Like, I guess she felt guilty about, I don't even know what she felt guilty about because it wasn't the kiss, it was like something else. And so I told Maggie, like, oh yeah, like the girl, like they kissed, like, you know, she's happy. And I guess Maggie felt some type of way about that, which maybe because of her brother, like, I don't know. It could be because of her brother, it could be something else. But yeah, Maggie felt some type of way about that. And um, she basically asked Hannah about it. And Hannah was like saying that I was lying, and basically she don't know why I would say that. Basically I'm trying to start drama and all this other stuff. So I'm like, at this point I'm at home and I'm snapping Hannah, and I'm just like, Hannah, Maggie said that you said all these things about me. You know you kissed that girl. Nobody I mean, I guess people do care, but it's just like a shock to people probably because I don't know. But I'm just like, I wasn't even saying it in a bad way. Like, I was just basically saying how the night went and saying like eventful things that happened. You did invite the girl, so if she was there, she would have seen it happen for herself. I mean, you invited her after she found out about it, but if she would have went, she would have seen it for herself. Like, so I'm just like, Hannah, why are you lying? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. This, maybe I could have not said anything about the kiss, but honestly, I didn't even think it was that big of a deal, to be honest. Like, I mean, I think it was something eventful that happened, but I just didn't think it was gonna like cause a huge problem. And so Hannah is basically just starts calling me a liar and all this other stuff, like saying all this stuff to Maggie. And I'm just like, okay, Hannah. Like, and I'm just like, girl, you know, sorry if I wasn't supposed to say that. Like, I really didn't know if I was not supposed to say it or not. I mean, you was saying that you was coming out and you was all happy and this and that. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't supposed to say that, but it was just out. Like, it was in front of everyone. Like, it wasn't like they tried to hide anything. Like, it was very open. Like, it wasn't secretive at all. Like, and also there was other people there that witnessed it as well. And so basically Hannah starts screenshotting messages in Snapchat, but she is, I actually found out that she basically manipulated the messages to make it look like she really didn't do it or something. But basically, I think I think her purpose for screenshotting it was to say that, was telling me that she didn't do it. Was her telling other people like, see, hey, I told Tiara that I didn't do this. And so thankfully, I just happened to be on my phone at the time, and I started screenshotting her messages too, like screenshotting our messages too. I'm just like, what is she screenshotting these messages for? I don't know, but I'm about to be prepared for whatever she thinks she's gonna do. So I started screenshotting the messages too. And I go, and she blocks me after that. And I go to work, and well, she blocks me on Snapchat. But I go to work, and I don't know why we were snapping in the first place, y'all. But I go to work, and I go to work and I see Maggie, and I'm just like, yeah. Mind you, me and Maggie was texting that night, and then she just like stopped texting back, which I really didn't care. Like, I was going to bed anyways. And so I see her the next day, and she was like, oh yeah, I don't know, T. I don't know. It just looks like it's not looking good for you. And I'm like, not looking good for me? What are you talking about? And she was like, Hannah showed me the messages. And I'm just like, okay, so did you see what she said? What are you talking about? Like, mind you, Hannah had been talking about this girl in these messages, like, which I'm sure she didn't screenshot, but Hannah had been already talking about her from before, like venting about her and stuff. Like, I just didn't tell Maggie. So Hannah's like, oh, yeah, it's not looking good for you and this and that. Like, and I said, I don't have no reason to lie about anything. Matter of fact, I told y'all both I didn't want to be in the middle of anything. And like, I've been sitting here trying to be cool with y'all. And you come to me every day about whatever is going on in your life. Like, could be something different every day. You come to me every day, and now you're sitting here like acting like I'm being fake or I'm trying to start something. What purpose would I have to start something by telling anything that happened that night? What purpose? I'm just telling you how the night went. You came up to me and asked how the night went and like, you know, what we did and stuff. Like you came up to me saying this stuff. I'm like, you came up to me asking me. And so she's like, I don't know. And then she said that her boyfriend, she was like, oh, her boyfriend, the black dude, the boyfriend, he has your back. He's saying that he thinks Hannah is lying and how you can manipulate messages and this and that. And Hannah's lying, but I just don't know, T. And I'm just like, first of all, don't sit here and try to call me like my nickname and like insult me at the same time. Like, and I'm just like, probably because your boyfriend got some sense and he knows like that's weird. Like, but why is it your boyfriend has my back? Why don't you have my back? What? And so I start sending her the messages that I had. And I'm just like, I sent her all the messages and she was like, oh, basically. And she was like, oh, basically that's crazy. And she didn't apologize, but she was like, I'm about to text Hannah right now. And I texted her and I said, Tiara showed me the messages, like the actual messages, like not just whatever you deleted or whatever you cropped or whatever you. She showed me the messages and she showed me where you was talking about me and stuff. Like she showed me that, and I wasn't, y'all. I wasn't even going to do that, but like I didn't want to show her where she was getting talked about and stuff, like because I just feel like she was venting to me. But then it's like at the end of the day, this girl is trying to make you look like the bad person because she got caught being a bad friend and bad girlfriend and bad whatever else you want to call it. Like now she's trying to make you look bad because she got caught up, and now she's sitting here saying that you're you're not a good friend or you're whatever, you're making stuff up and you're trying to start stuff. So now you really got to put it all out there. That was my thought process. Now I have to tell this now I have to tell Maggie everything you done said. Now I got to show her. Can't tell her nothing because she'll sit there and be like, "Oh, I don't know, T. I don't know." Can't tell her nothing. So I got to show her these messages. Like, Maggie, I have never said one bad thing about you. And you're sitting here acting like I manipulated or whatever. Like, I mean, you can believe this, girl, but haven't y'all been having all these issues since before I even got here? And you're sitting here, trying to, I don't know. It just seemed like they needed some body to blame. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Hannah was already the type of person I how do I want to say this? Hannah was a little bit of a Karen. I'll just say that. And Maggie, she was like not, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. It was kind of, I don't know. Hannah was a bit of a Karen. It's just so many situations that I could like say, but I don't want to like offend anybody or like put too much out there. But like, she's the type of person that basically, if a guy slept with her and he didn't want to be with her, she would say that he raped her. Like, she gives those vibes. Not saying that she did that, but that's not too far from her character. Like what I had learned about her. Which is sad, but like, I don't know. I guess people show you who they are. She never apologized for like lying on me or whatever, which whatever. Like, I know what I seen. I know that I have been a friend to Maggie and Hannah, and Hannah from day one talking about all these people in her life and venting to me. Like, I don't know. It kind of like hurt my feelings that Hannah would sit up here and like try to like Karen me, like try to like be a Karen about this situation instead of just saying, hey, you know what, I did say this, I did do that, and apologizing to your friend or your boyfriend or whoever you have to apologize to. But she just didn't. She just thought it was easier to blame me. And yeah. So, yeah, you guys, that is when I stopped talking to Hannah and Maggie for real. Like, I mean, sometimes I would like talk to her, whatever, but it just wasn't the same after that. I don't know. Hannah probably told her all kinds of things, untrue things, but it's cool. I know that I was a good friend to them both. I obviously was a good friend. I obviously was someone like that they felt like they could trust just alone off of the things that they told me. Like, I already knew like I was that type of person that, I mean, I already knew like just alone off the things that they would tell me, like, you wouldn't tell anybody this stuff if this person wasn't a good person. Like, if you did, it would be setting yourself up for failure. So, yeah, I know that I was a good friend to these people. And I don't know, that trio friendship maybe is what messed it up. But I don't even want to blame just that. I just definitely use discernment. Right, you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys coming to watch me and listen to me yap. I really appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff if you want to.